3 teenage girls in Houston, Texas, were severely beaten by 20 of their classmates and stabbed with pins. Their hijabs were ripped off. One of them is still unresponsive. This happened over a week ago. Islamophobia is definitely on a rise, whether people want to admit to it or not. And the governor is all up in it. Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon's wife. Yes, we're talking about wrestling. Vince McMahon. She is the appointed education secretary. By the way, didn't they want to shut down the education department in the US? Just saying. While she's at it, she decided to rename AI, artificial intelligence. You know what I'm talking about? AI. That's what we call it. But she was on a conference and she was very confidently calling it A1. So welcome to Culturally Clueless. Stay tuned for more. All right, we are here. Yeah, we are ready. We will always be ready. Okay. So how is everyone? Let's pretend we didn't talk before.
Well, I'm very good. I'm excited, as always. I'm so happy. Thank you for having me. I'm just going to say all the triggering words that you don't like, Nez.
So this guy is literally very good with saying things he is not supposed to say that I hate. Do you want to say what I hate the most?
I'll do my best not to say it. All right.
Is this a moment where I just leave again? Literally, we're just leaving.
I'll start swimming if you like.
No, I'm leaving
back to Australia.
It's going to take you 4 weeks. Don't even try. Plus, nobody would want you to swim back. They would be very upset with me. So that's why I said I leave. Okay, so why is Maria not on camera? Maria, defend yourself before I do it. You told me not to defend you anymore.
Yeah, last time didn't help much. Didn't.
So Maria woke up too late and she didn't have time to get ready. So she's fighting.
No, I'm gonna tell them the truth. Guys, sorry, I don't have camera today because I have a skin condition and I was not able to put it on the control before we recording. But it's getting better. But next week I should be on camera. Thank you for understanding.
You sounded like a flight attendant.
No, yeah, I don't want to lie to them yet.
Yet? But you already lied, I think.
No one.
Did you? I don't know.
We never.
Thank you. We never lied.
No.
Okay. I was thinking to bring my popcorn and watch you guys arguing.
About lying?
They love it. They always try to win us, but they love it.
Actually, Maria and I never really...
You saw the comments. You know, I was siding with you. So, you know, you've got some support here from brother from Australia.
We talking? No, when do you defend me? They said like, don't defend her.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Nobody actually said don't defend her. Oh my God, you're so overdramatic. That's why I say you are extra. You remind me of a friend. Like she is extra, just like you. That's why you always have to ask somebody else. Did this really happen that way? Okay. Maria and I never actually argued ever, but this one time, Maria got very upset with me for no reason, and she apologized. Okay. Right, Maria?
Okay.
I was hungry.
That's what I wanted her to say. The reason why she was upset with me is because she was angry. Can you believe that?
So she sent a text, and I read it super fast, and I didn't eat it, and so I took it in the wrong way. That's all. But then I ate, and I was happy again, and I read the text, and then that's not what I mean.
So the reason why I'm pointing this out is for two things: stay away from Maria when she's hungry, and number two. She is extra and overdramatic. Thank you. Maria, you want to start with your question? Oh, God, I don't know. This question thing, we need to...
Okay, let's start with my question.
Okay, let's go.
I almost forgot my question too.
That would be maybe good, depending on what it is.
No. It's a good question. It's
I
a
always
very
say that.
philosophical question.
Okay.
So there is a saying. I don't know if it's a saying or I made it up, but I know that's them.
It's already starting good.
But I always say that when things start the wrong way, they're gonna end up in the wrong way. Like if you think start bad, they're gonna end up bad. Do you think there is any situation when things don't start the right way or the right way or the proper way and turns out well? Or you agree with me that if something start, like for example, if something start with a lie, it's gonna end up bad or with another lie? Or when a relationship starts cheating, it's gonna end up with cheating and stuff like that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, look, there's a similar saying in Arabic, which is whatever that is built on the wrong foundation is going to end up wrong and it's going to collapse. That's a rough translation. So, yeah, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that saying. But I don't know. Somehow. I think this saying should go specific on. It's not like it doesn't apply on everything, right? I can't really say that it doesn't apply on everything. It applies on everything, but I think there are some situations where it could look that it's wrong, or like it seemed to be wrong, or started wrong, in a wrong way, but it wasn't actually wrong. I cannot really think of an example or something, but. I don't know. Yeah, to me, yes. In general, it is correct. That's all I can say. What do you think, Nez?
I think if you start building a house from scratch and the fundament is flawed, it's going to break at some point or fall. And I don't understand why people want to risk that, because if it was a house, you wouldn't risk it. You would want it fixed or you move out. But for some reason, people feel when it comes to other people or any like general like situations, they don't want to, they take that risk. And I don't understand why they do that. That would be my question. Like, I do agree with it 100%. And that's why I bring the example with the house. If it falls, people would never take that risk. They would never live in a place that where there is like even the smallest chance to just like collapse. But people want to get into friendships, relationships, work situations, or whatever when there is like a chance for it to completely collapse and fall, break, whatever.
Yeah. Well, look, but you know, that's why I said, it. I don't know if you can apply it like word for word everywhere, because sometimes, you might start something, let's say like a relationship or something, okay? And it doesn't seem to be, let's say you didn't really think that it started in the wrong way. I don't know. It's especially when you put it together like this, like maybe it started as like as a friendship, right? And it's just developed. It started as a friendship and it's developed. It didn't seem to start the wrong way, right?
No, but I don't think she's talking about that. I think she's talking if something starts wrong with problems. Or correct me if I'm wrong, Nasima. Maria.
No, you didn't. You see, it was done in the wrong
Shout
way.
out to Nasima.
Yeah, okay.
The comments know her.
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about, Maria. Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just correcting her. I'm just guessing here. Correcting her. I'm telling you, it's not my day today, guys.
Like, for example, is you're married and you're starting with someone that you start a relationship while you're cheating. To me, that's gonna end up bad. That's what I mean.
First of all, we don't have relationships, but who cheats starting a relationship? What is this? Why do you get into a relationship then?
What?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No. I'm not talking about later. I understand, but but who starts a relationship cheating? What is this?
A lot of people do.
Well, then honesty clearly these people have issues.
So cheating itself is wrong. It's completely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
So 100%, so that's why that's why I said I'm saying it's wrong because maybe to answer the question that Ness asked now about who would cheat or when cheating started, it's wrong. It started wrong anyway. Because cheating, it's called cheating. There's no other way to describe it. Cheating is wrong. There's no other word to describe it.
But I think even if things start off wrong, if they're if it's problematic, like for me, I don't know, like if other people, obviously, I think this is a very subjective answer anyway. Some people like toxicity, some people like problems, some people like struggle. For me, anything that brings too many problems where it's always on the verge of breaking, I'm not interested. Why would I want this stress? Maria, what about you though?
No, can I make it more controversial?
I'm scared. This is the problem with you. Sometimes you just say certain things.
This is very controversial because it's gonna push conservatives and people that are more liberal. So, oh my God, I'm gonna say, okay. Mm-hmm. What about as long you are not a minor, as long you are not a child, okay?
Okay.
As long you're not a child, because you're a child, it's a different situation.
Okay.
But you're a grown-ups, right? Mm-hmm. And you go to this awful experience or an assault, and which is wrong, which is awful. And result that assault, you have a child, and you decide to keep, and that child become something important to you. Would that be an example of someone that started wrong and then bring something good to your life? Or no? Did I push it too much?
Olivia, SVU.
I was watching that actually. That's why I thought.
Okay.
Did I make it too much?
No.
Controversial.
So the child is a result of an assault, that's what you said, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the child, well, look, it's not the child's fault to start with. Okay. That is something that we really need to establish. It is not that child's fault. So now it is up to the parents who really had that child, right? It's up to them. It's up to their, it's up to their mental stability. Mm-hmm. It's up to, honestly, it's up to how, they're who they really are and how they can handle it and how stable they are, especially after the assault. I would understand that, after the assault, there should be some psychological or mental issues, as a result of the assault. So, I would, redirect the question back and ask, how is the parent? How is the mother? Because of course the mother is the one maybe that is mostly harmed in this situation. So how is the mother? Is the mother, accepting and because there's also the motherly feeling for me, yes, she didn't want that child. She didn't she wasn't really, she didn't want that to happen, not that child, but she didn't want that to happen. But, facing the reality now, and she has the child, how is she feeling about this whole thing? Was she able to stop? Again, I'm going to sound more controversial now. was she able to end that pregnancy earlier? You know, when she found out that she's pregnant, for example, you know what I mean? So, you know, like there are so many questions, there are so many factors into this whole topic. So yeah, how is the mother accepting it since the beginning, since she found out that she was pregnant with that child, you know?
So I actually know someone who was a result of that, and it didn't go too well whatsoever. As much as the mother wanted to keep her, the mother was not able to get past that because genetics is still a thing, DNA is a thing. And when you have a child that might resemble the person that assaulted you, or you realize that this was not the smartest idea because you're every day reminded, the relationship between mother and child is also destroyed. And then,
yeah, look, maybe I cannot really express it well because, you know, like I don't understand motherhood, basically, you know, for obvious reasons. So, so that's why, you know, maybe you ladies can can answer that better, especially that specific case that Maria mentioned.
No, but I have actually have a question for you, but I don't know if this is this is why sometimes it's very hard, because some things are very controversial and sometimes it's very uncomfortable, and you know, based of our background to talk about certain things. My question would be to you, and we can cut this out. Let me see the time. As a part of this family, as a parent, or as the husband of this woman, how would you deal with that situation? I mean, obviously you don't know, but what can you picture yourself be like? Because that's also very hard.
Yeah. So, but let me get the question. Let me get the question straight. So you're asking if I wasn't the father of the child, or if
yeah,
I was
obviously
the
you
father
didn't assault the woman, so you were the husband.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, look, basically, I'm talking. All right. I don't want to be looking like, yeah, I'm the perfect person here and look like it, but like, I have to be supportive. I have to be supportive to the woman in the first place, right? And you know, we know from the Middle Eastern culture that, you know, some people wouldn't really accept a woman that is a victim of an assault, right? So they you know, so, but for me, you know, if especially that this woman, you know, like this woman is going to, she's my wife, and you know, I have to, you know, I have to look after her. I have to, you know, be the caring person that I should be. Okay. So to me, the child is going to be included in that care. Does that make sense? And I'm talking from a personal point of view, because I chose to stay, or I chose to be with that woman.
Yeah.
And I know what she's been through, right? So of course should have. I'm sure that I would have thought about it very thoroughly, and you know, decided that I'm going to be caring for the woman and for the child. Right? This is how I see it. Otherwise, we will go to the starting point that I started, like with my answer, which is, you know, if I'm going to follow the tradition or the Middle Eastern culture, or you know, the environment that we have there, and basically so many people will just reject the whole thing, reject the woman and the child, and you know, it's going to be, although it is not her fault, you know, basically it's not her fault, but like so many people would just, you know, like the culture and, you know, the traditions wise, they would just step away or stay away from that woman, and as a result, the child, of course.
I am glad that you said it that way, because it's unfortunate that culture sometimes, for some reason, is placed higher than religion. Because I don't think that religion would say if something like that happened. Actually, it's even more, I want to say, kind of like appreciated if someone would choose someone with these kind of issues rather than
Exactly. Absolutely. It's 100%. I'm not talking from the religion point of view,
yeah.
because this is the problem that, especially again, in some areas, in some culture, in some regions, let's call it this way, they think that the tradition and the culture and the norm is pretty much derived from the religion, which is not the case. It is in so many ways, in so many areas, like it's far away from it. And we can give hundreds of examples.
Yeah.
So religion-wise, of course, 100%, we should be caring, we should be understanding. It is not the woman's fault. It is not the child's fault, right? And in fact, the man who would really look after the woman and the child, and he would choose to include them and to care for them, that person, in the religion system, you're getting more blessings, because you're really fixing a broken heart, you're fixing a broken soul, and basically you are looking after, just like when sponsoring an orphan, right? It is pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
Right? You're looking after a child, probably. I'm not going to talk about the mother, but at least the father or whoever that did that. Like, this child was unwanted at some point, right? And as a man, you're looking after this child and sponsoring that child and treating him like him or her, like your child. This is one of the highest grades, in the religion.
Yes.
So there's no question about it.
Okay, so do you agree with me that Maria starts these questions and then she's so quiet like a mouse?
But the question is for you.
No, what do you mean? You need to answer your own question as well.
But
Probably give your insights.
I think nothing is you cannot generalize. Things can change for everybody. Sometimes things start in the wrong way, but it can have a good ending. Sometimes it have a good ending, it have an awful ending. So every case is different.
Name one case where it started off bad and went great.
Personal.
Anything.
Everything I do start right.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Again,
it's
look. The
it's
question
matter of
started
perspective.
as a general thing, right? And that's why sometimes you cannot really apply the general rule unless there is like you have to go case by case, especially like it started as a general question, and we applied the example of the house, or a building in general, right? But like when we go in details, like in that specific case, then you can have multiple and different opinions and feelings about it, right? And like Maria said, like it's sometimes it would start wrong, just like the case that Maria mentioned, right? But if you had, let's say, the best situation, the best case scenario, which is like you've got a man who would just religion wise or and even personality wise, that was the right man to look after that specific case, then you can have some good ending, okay, although it started wrong. So again, we should go case by case. That's my opinion.
But okay, then I have a question. How long is it? And this is always, I have to ask this because people have this like unwavering patience sometimes for bad things. I guess it's because they feel like they have hope that things will get better. How long do we stay in a situation? Like, how long is this the start? Like, how long do I maintain a situation that starts wrong before I say, okay, this is not getting better, or it starts wrong and there is a change? Like, how long do I wait and hope for this change to happen?
Again, this is going to be based on each case. Okay, if we are talking about a human interaction, a human situation, a human relation, right? It's going to depend on how much you appreciate this person. What do you see in this person? Okay, so that's where the patience come from, and that's the level. Let's say the amount of patience. Where do they come from? Okay, but when you realize, like maybe at an early stage, that this person, or well, my situation with that person isn't worth it, then the patience level would be just less. But when you think that this person is worth it, then remember when we spoke about the 70 excuses in the previous episode? I'm willing to give 700 excuses, 7,000. Sorry?
7,000 excuses?
Well, if the person is worth it. But look, I'm not talking about the El Salvadorian president.
No. But, I'm sorry, like, do you know? Okay, then I have a question. So what happens when you gave 7,000 excuses? Because sometimes 7,000 excuses can be used up in a month, but also maybe like in 7 years, or like what happens if after 7 years, right, all your 7,000 excuses that you gave and a long time passed by, you realize, oh my God, I actually literally just wasted my time hoping and waiting for things to get better and believing, and then nothing happened, quite the opposite. I'm still here, I'm stuck, I wasted my time and I wasted my energy.
In my opinion, if I wouldn't really look at it as wasted my time. I would be looking at it as, I don't know. I would look at it as, well, I'm a slow learner, if you like to call it this way. I've been learning for 7 years. Look, again, if the person is worth it, and the situation is worth it, then yes, I'm willing to give. Look, maybe 7,000 excuses was an exaggerated number, all right? But, I'm willing to give more than 70 excuses.
Okay, you know what?
6,999.
Okay, but
yeah, that's more specific number. I like that one. Yeah.
I get that. I really do get that. But how is, oh my God, we need to move on from this because my question will never run out. How is somebody worth it, or a situation worth it, if it's challenging and problematic? Like, I understand that, but at some point you have to draw the line and be honest with yourself. And this is, I always preach that people are not honest to themselves.
Look, this is the thing here, right? Maybe that would give you an easier answer, or a quicker answer, right? If you keep having those problems frequently, like on a daily basis, if you are dealing with someone and you're having it on a daily basis, okay, without any, let's say you have 10 bad moments and one good moment, then yes, of course, you know, in this case, I'm sorry, that's too many excuses that I'm giving, right?
Yeah, that's
but
what
like,
I'm.
you know, you would you would recall all the good moments and all the goodness that you've seen from that person, and you had one bad or two bad situations, even if they are not really, there's not that much time difference between them, but you see all the goodness that you've seen in that person, then, you know, I would say it could be something. It could be that, you know, the bad thing, the bad moment or the bad situation that you had it could be either because it's a misjudgment or misunderstanding, or it could be just a bad moment, right? It's a bad reaction because the person was going through something. You know what I mean? So that's the type of excuses that I would give. It is not like,
but
okay,
that's
let's
different.
wait. Oh, let's
That's
wait
different.
for that message. You know?
We're talking about a difficult,
yeah.
challenging situation. But anyways, we can move on. We have some other topics as well. But my God, Maria, maybe we should check the questions with her right next time. What do you think?
My question was great. What are you talking about? Why are you blaming the question?
Okay.
Blame the people that cannot answer.
We did answer. What are you talking about?
What?
Exactly. Like what? We've been talking for half an hour. You're telling us what we didn't answer? Okay.
The thing is that the question, it has like so many. It goes in different directions. That's the thing. So it's a wide, broad question, to be honest.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, yeah.
We have. Let's talk about something more serious. Talk about Yemen.
Our president tweeting out war crimes was not on the docket for me today. I'm not gonna lie to you. The fact that he said these Houthis gathered for instructions on attack. Oops, there will be no attack by these Houthis. People, these are just regular people gathered for a tribal gathering, and we bombed out of them. Do you understand that? Innocent people that's standing in a circle. Use your brain one time logically and think, people are going to meet to go over attacks in a circle like that with no weapons around, no trucks, no nothing. Why? Strictly for vibes? Knowing that the Americans are watching them, there's drones following them all over the place. This is where they would meet at. That doesn't sound very smart or logical to me. Or at least this image. This is what we bombed. You understand that, people?
Maria was very adamant about this topic.
Because it's insane that we just watch this and no one is saying anything and nobody is doing nothing. We're gonna show the video, but you can see people in a circle doing nothing. I think they were praying. Let's correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And then when bombarded by the U.S. Like, how has this happened? How is this a reality? How is this thing that we are watching now? My heart broke. Like, these are people. They were not doing nothing but praying. They were civilians.
Yeah.
They were no military. They no were militia. They were civilians praying in a circle. And they were bombarded by the U.S. And I didn't see any news. I didn't see anyone, no. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't see any government official addressing this or explaining this.
They did address it. Trump actually said, whoops, there will be no more attacks from the Houthis.
Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, that was even more sickening.
Yeah.
you would wish that he never addressed it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I really don't. I don't understand that. Like Maria said, you know, like I've watched the video and I saw some news online and I saw the pictures and the footage. You know, you can't see a single piece of weapon, not even a knife. Although, you know, like it's their traditional dress, they might have a knife, you know, like, but again, you can't really see anything suspicious in that gathering. And that gathering, you know, as far as I know, it is during Eid al-Fitr, which is, and especially like when I look at the picture, I can see, you know, from the traditions that I know about that part of the world, you know, like they could be singing, you know, like, because you have people standing in the middle of that circle, all right, which is the person who would be singing or even clapping, and, you know, singing, and the people around him would be clapping and cheering and chanting. That's what it is. You know, there's nothing suspicious at all with that gathering, and it happens all the time, especially in that special occasion, which is Eid al-Fitr, right? So you'd be expected to see that some gatherings like this. And, you know, the Trump's tweet was like even worse. Honestly, I have no words to describe that.
I think for me personally, the worst part is we see this. There is way more background to it. A lot of it is what people don't talk about in public, which is something I'm very sick of. And maybe we can address it a little bit deeper in a different episode, because I feel like it needs to be addressed. the civilians in Yemen are not necessarily too fond of the Houthis. And because the problem is with the Houthis, they get attacked the same way, if not even more. And this is what my problem is. It's the same problem that we have in Gaza. You want to take it out on the people that you feel did this, then go walk in there and take it out on the ground with these people, but not with everybody, with everybody who has nothing to do with nothing. So.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. You know, just like any other country and any other form of government, you know, you've got supporters and you've got people who are not supporting, right? For multiple reasons. Could it be political? Could it be even sectarian? You know, like I wouldn't really worry about saying that. You know, like there are so many backgrounds, especially you know the history of Yemen itself. You know, when we are talking about, you know, the northern side and the southern side.
Yeah.
All right, and who each side would support, right? So not all the Yemenis are supportive of the Houthis, that's for sure.
So
you're 100. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're 100% correct. You know, you can't really bring it to the civilians who have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next topic. This is one of the hardest topics for me personally. I don't know. Well, I do know, but this is something that I find very difficult to deal with. So we're talking about Ahmed Manasrah, the kid that was arrested when he was 13. We also have some videos, and these videos are very disturbing for people who have a hard time with watching it. Maybe you just want to forward. He is released. He is 23 now, and he is basically, they stole his whole life from him because the way that he came out is completely broken, not just physically, but also mentally. He spent a lot of time in solitary confinement. And I want to point out that the story, I don't know, the story was him and his cousin, apparently and allegedly, they killed 2 IDF soldiers with a knife. It was acknowledged at that court that he had nothing to do with it, yet he was still arrested, and they left him in administrative detention for 3 years until he was 16 so that they could imprison him. And he is mentally extremely challenged, and he is still on house arrest. He was released, but he still doesn't get to be free.
Yeah, so he was arrested. He was abused at a young age. You could like you said, Ness, you know, like I've seen the videos and the footage while he was getting interrogated, and he was like he's just a young little boy, basically. That was a lot. That was a lot to endure. That was a lot to handle. To be honest, it was a lot to handle for us when we are watching it, let alone that boy, what was he going through when he was getting interrogated and getting all the mistreatment that he's got, and now he's released. And you know, like when you say that he's under house arrest, but like what is left of him? That is the thing. It is not he is under house arrest. It is what is left of him.
Yeah,
I think he of course got so many mental issues and God knows what else that he had to endure. And you know, you would be surprised to see him that he's still able to walk. Honestly, it breaks our heart to see this. It breaks my heart to see the footage when he was getting interrogated 10 years ago, and breaks my heart when I see him that he's walking out and probably not recognizing the people around him. Did you see the look in his eyes? It's like he's just looking nowhere.
He's not here anymore.
And that would tell you the whole story. No, not at all.
For me, already this, I find the interrogation video extreme. I cannot even get past that one.
And again, that's a very good. That's a strong message to anyone who is watching us, to anyone who is still having questions, or let's say suspicions or unsure about what is going on there. Watch the video, even though if it's tough for you to watch. Watch the video and tell me: is that a proper? Is that setup during that video? Is that a proper setup for a government, or a proper setup for a democracy, if you want to call it? Is that a proper for anything that is related to any of the countries that you would know of? Is that a proper setup? Could you still call it a state? That cancer that is growing there in that area, do you still call it a state? Just watch the video, even though it's tough. Please watch it and get back and tell us what do you think about it, please.
The only democracy in the Middle East that has a military court for children. Yeah, exactly. That one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nobel Prizes that they keep talking about all the time. Oh, come on. Mm-hmm. I don't want to start.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because that is the thing. That is the thing. And I don't know. I just it's something, I don't know. This Ahmed Manasrah case thing, it really, really moved so many people. And I rather get angry because I don't want to cry here. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's only one case, one child out of how many?
Thousands
that we haven't heard about.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maria, we're moving on with a topic that is not so nice. Can you introduce the next topic?
Okay, the next topic is very sensitive or very even personal to me because I have a child. She's 10, and as you know, this is the age of the video games. I try to, I'm very, very, very I'm a helicopter mom, but you know that kids these days are they're one a step ahead. And news like this scare me because they are an industry that selling video games with the theme that is disturbing. This video game, the theme is about a man. They rape women, and the video game, there's only rape and abuse and violence are also incest. All these dirty stuff they're pushing in the video game industry. And the question is why? Who is allowed this? How is possible there is a business meeting with people saying, yes, this is a great idea that we need to launch to the world. And I knew this because of Eunice. Oh. But I didn't see in any of the news outlet either. Like, there is nothing like that warning parents about this information. And it's scary. Like you have to have 10 eyes now to make sure what is pushing to our children's.
40 minutes, 49 minutes. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. This game has literally 130 million users.
Yeah. There are people buying that.
Well,
like, who is buying this?
Yeah. Well, look. If we would go to let's go back a little bit in the history of video games. It used to be something like similar to what do you call it? Like Star Wars and stuff like that, and then they became the technology improved a little bit and went into something like the football or soccer and car racing. And why I brought this up, because I can see how the nature and, let's say, the scenarios or the story of those games would start, keep getting tweaked, or keep getting not updated, basically, but yes, added. There's some extra lines added to it. For example, you've got the car racing or the motorbike racing, all right? And then I remember at some point, like at the year, I think 1999 or 2000, right? There's that game where you are still doing the motorbike racing, but they would add to it the police patrol that is going after you, all right? And then you have to dodge the patrol or the policeman who's after you, right? And then that that game became more quote unquote fun, and then it provided you as the biker. It provided you with a baton or a stick, and then if the policeman is trying to catch you, then you start pushing the policeman and start beating the policeman, and you would find that's fun, especially that if you can drop the policeman off his motorbike. Okay, so you would laugh at it, and again, it was just a funny twist for anyone to have some fun, right? And then you would move into the next level, which is, what was it called? What was it called? GTA or something, where this guy who's running, and like you would pull a person out of his car and steal the car and drive it, and you go and to punch someone in the street, and you see what is going on. Like it starts like these twists are getting fed little by little into the games, until it becomes normal. And it's just for the sake of fun, and then you would move to the next level, to the higher level. And now you're telling me that we've got all of these items added now. We heard also some news about people who would play those games, not the game that was mentioned today, but those games where you have again someone who's just running the streets and hurting people for no reason, or at least there's a target, or there's a goal to achieve there. But we had some people who applied it in real life, and this is the scary part for me, when it will move from, oh yeah, it's just we're having some fun, I'm not hurting anyone, but some people would just start living it, and that's the scary part. When you ask the question, what is the purpose of it? Well, the purpose is, I don't know, to bring the evil out of people. Because
also, disclaimer, I didn't mention the name purposely, because obviously I'm not gonna keep publicity.
It's removed. There were petitions. People complained. Parents complained.
Oh, good.
That game was very cheap. It was removed like 5 days ago or so from the Steam platform. Yeah, but I just want to say there were games like this before that. Just this one is very extreme, and 130 million people paid for this. You know how much money they made off of this? This is insane.
The problem is that the gaming industry is like it is developing in a worrying way, that you can create your own game at some platforms, right? And sky's the limit for what kind of games that you can create. This is the other problem.
I would say everything they put out, from movies to songs to clothes to whatever is trendy to video games, is to influence the world, and especially the younger generation as they want and how they like. And I don't know, like, I mean, obviously it's like, people always say, but it's the parents' responsibility. Yes, but you are not with your child 24/7, because I hope that your child goes to school and there are other kids, and influence happens whether you want to or not. And I'm just sick and tired of like, the parents. It's not that easy. Because if you as a child, and you can do things without your parents knowing. So
Yes, especially nowadays, like the access to multiple tools and multiple platforms is just so easy. It can happen through your watch. Simple as that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. These games to me like are a little bit dangerous, and I would say they should be monitored because you never know how many pedophiles are on these games playing children's game pretending to be a child. So
exactly. Look, and having children is I could give some examples and how they would just go even the pedophiles can reach out in even through the nicest games ever, or let's say the non-suspicious games ever. You talk about games who could be educational and are technically used at schools sometimes, right? These people can reach through these games as well, because it's as simple as like those students or those children who are playing the game together online. They could create a group, and the group can just add a group chat or something, and the group can add more people, and those more people will just add more, and it will come out of control. So it's not easy to control, honestly, but it's a tough job. It's a tough job to keep an eye on this.
It really is. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معكم ابتهال أبو السعد، وأردت نشر هذا الفيديو القصير لأن العديد من الناس تواصلوا معي، وأردت أولا أن أشكركم جزيلا على نشر رسالتي عبر العالم وعبر مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي. والعديد من الناس سألوني كيف يمكن مساندتي خلال هذه الفترة، وأتقدم لكم بأمرين أطلبهما من الجميع. الأمر الأول هو مقاطعة جميع منتوجات مايكروسوفت، سواء كانت اكس بوكس أو كوبايلوت أو كاندي كراش. أي منتوج من مايكروسوفت تستخدمونه ينبغي مقاطعته.
Okay, so we want to highlight some good stuff as well. Microsoft at their 50th anniversary, and they had a party, and there was this guy called Mustafa Suleimani was speaking. He is the CEO of the AI department, and unfortunately, Ray, I'm sorry, but he's half Syrian.
I know.
That's very bad. That's such a bad representation.
Yes.
And you had
Absolutely.
2 employees who crashed the party. One of them is called Vanya. I cannot say her last name, unfortunately. But nobody
Vanya Agrawal.
Very good. See, there you go. See, that's good. Yeah, because everybody is mentioning Ibtihal, and I understand that because she was the louder one. But I feel like the other girl still deserves her credits as well. So they complained. They called, especially the AI department, out on the complicity of this genocide that is currently going on. And I think this is very brave, considering that being blacklisted, especially in the corporate world, is very difficult. And the fact that these girls don't care, I think that's amazing.
50,000 people have died, and Microsoft powers this genocide in our region.
Thank you for your protest. I hear you.
Your Syrian family know about this, Mustafa.
I hear your protest. Thank you.
Shame on you. You are a war profiteer.
I hear you.
Stop using AI for genocide, Mustafa. Stop using AI for genocide in our region. You have blood on your hands. All of Microsoft has blood on its hands. How do you all celebrate when Microsoft is killing?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, to be honest with you, yes, I do admire both of them. I admire Ibtihal because, of course, she disregarded all the consequences, and she spoke on behalf of us, on behalf of her people. Okay. Now, as I think she's Moroccan, or she's
she's Moroccan.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could tell from her accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Yeah, I really admire her bravery, and she gave up. Of course, like so many of us would think about, oh wow, I'm working for Microsoft. Like, could it get any better? But she gave up all of this. But I would salute the other one, Vanya Agrawal, from the name, what the name suggests. I think she's Indian.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the Agrawal is I think I'm sure it's an Indian name.
Okay.
And that is honestly, that's why I have huge respect, because we know the complicity of in general, the current Indian government with Israel anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And for that lady to stand up and to stand up and express her dissatisfaction and to protest this whole situation, that's, to me, that is phenomenal as well. I really appreciate what they've done. And like you said, they sacrificed pretty much their career progression.
Well, to be honest,
in order to say.
The other girl, Ibtihal, she had an offer from some guy called Abdullah Dabouz. The name is so funny. He's a Kuwaiti businessman, and he offered her a job at his company. And so this is going back to Maria's question. When things start, sometimes things can start off right and end up wrong, like with Microsoft. But then maybe this is her real chance to work for someone and maybe even, like, I don't know, get a good career out of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go back to that question, and I don't want to go.
That doesn't have nothing to do with my question, because that didn't end that wrong. That it started right.
Bro, I said it started right. But no, wait. It started right for her in Microsoft, because she said and then it ended up wrong, and then it took a good turn.
No, but it didn't end that wrong. It didn't end that wrong, because if you get fired because you stand up for your people, that's the right way to get out.
Yes, but she started, and she says it herself, like they have an interview with Middle East Eye. She says that she feels they were tricked into this, right? Like they started because they just wanted to be an engineer, they wanted to work on AI stuff, whatever. And then, so they started it started right for them. I mean, Microsoft is a good start for anyone who is working in that field. And then it went wrong because all of a sudden they became complicit as well, because the AI that they were developing was used for this.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
and
talking
they thought that no one was going to call her out their bullshit, and she comes and called it out, because, like Ray said, it took a lot of bravery to stand out to these people, and it's intimidating. And she stood up and called it out, because you're using the technology instead of helping others to destroy life.
Well, Maria, I'm so glad that you're speaking out, calling out, because I was going to call you out. I understand your camera is not here today, but your microphone works. You're barely speaking, though.
I just chip in when it's appropriate. So this one is start right. So guys, if you need to stand up, don't worry.
No, I hope you keep that same energy with me every Saturday.
Yeah, you want to fight with me?
Yeah, keep that same energy.
I'm all for peace, Jules. All for peace. Okay, next
topic. So we talk. So April 9 was the Deir Yassin massacre. Ray, I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about what it was, or...
At dawn on April the 9th, 1948, a combined force of Irgun and Stern Gang fighters moved into the village of Deir Yassin, near Jerusalem. The result was a massacre. Over 100 Palestinians were killed, including women, children, and the elderly.
The Deir Yassin massacre is one of many massacres that happened. Let's say, during the process, quote-unquote process, of establishing the so-called the State of Israel, right? So, April 9th, 1948, there's a village that is called Deir Yassin. It is to the west side of Jerusalem. It's a small village. on that day, a group of two gangs, made out of two gangs, the Stern or the Lehigh, and the Irgun, which is led by Menachem Begin. So a group of 120 people, of terrorists, they raided that village. We're talking about village. We're talking about people who are unarmed, people who live in their houses. They raided that village and they killed over 100 villages, and that's the number that was at least announced at that time. That includes all women, children, all ages. They were all killed, and discriminately and deliberately, to terrorize, to use this as a message, to send a message to the Palestinians in other villages and in other cities, that this is what is waiting for you. So either you face this destiny or you just leave, run away and leave the land for us. There are some reports, by the way, of even rape and mutilation, but still, these ones, because I think back in the day it was, we didn't really have the proper means of communication, so they weren't really maybe documented very well. They basically, if you bring this up nowadays, some of those people who are still advocating for Israel, they would say that, well, that is not a massacre that is done by the Israeli forces, okay? Because basically, the Haganah, which is another gang that was formed there, but later on, the Haganah itself turned into the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF. They listed, they didn't really announce or they take any responsibility in that massacre. But again, if you look at who is the head or the leader of the Irgun gang, it's Menachem Begin, which is one of the names and one of the leaders who became, of course, the one of the presidents there, one of the leaders of Israel itself. But yeah, it is one of the massacres. It's one of the thing is, I'm sure that we are going to see a video about it, and it could show at least some of the footage. Although it's not really that much there that is shown, again because it's the historical fact and the lack of equipment. But it is one of many other massacres that happened to displace and to force the people out. At some arguments, some people would say that, when you tell us that, the group of gangsters or a group of from one gang, they would just attack, a whole village. How is that possible? Just think about it this way. Those villages, what were they equipped with if they managed to defend themselves? They would be equipped with what? Simple sticks, agricultural tools, versus what? Versus firearms, versus all the equipment back in the day, all the equipment that could be used to hurt and kill and attack people. Okay? Just think about it this way, and then you'd understand what would happen. It's whoever survived during that massacre or managed to run away, they managed to run away. Whoever in the nearby villages, when they heard about this massacre, of course, what the first thing that they would think about is, we can't really face that firepower, so let's just run. And that's exactly how the Nakba happened, because 1 month after that, on May, the state of Israel the so-called state of Israel was announced. was officially launched, we can call it this way. It's not 3,000 years old. It was 76 years old after many massacres, after many lives were taken, after many terrorist attacks that were performed to displace the people, to terrorize them, and just to get them to run away for their lives. So I don't know if I said enough, but it's a non-stop conversation. Honestly, like we can spend hours talking about it and about other massacres. But I try to summarize as much as I can.
I think the Deir Yassin massacre stands out because it was really like a month before the establishment of this occupation. And I think this is why we need to keep pointing these things out. And I feel like this year, for some reason, there was not enough talk about it. So
Exactly. We just need to keep in mind all the time that I just keep saying it. When someone is telling me Israel or Palestine, I would say, what is Israel? There's no such thing as Israel. Forget about all the what's been told about the 3,000 years of history and stuff like that. There's no such thing like that. Just keep that in mind. There were people who lived there. There were people who owned and lived in their land for generations, and they just got terrorized, killed, tortured, and whoever managed to run away, they run away. Okay. And then on the remains of those houses, and on the remains and on the dead bodies of the people who got killed, who were living there for generations, that's what the state of Israel is built on. So, yeah.
Before Maria falls asleep.
No, I want to clarify something before you move on.
Okay. Thank God you're still here. Oh.
Something that Ness told me is that language is important. And I think we should start addressing the occupation as it is. It's occupied Palestine. All the land is an occupied territory. The name that they put in is no real. That flag is no real. It's occupied Palestine, and the people that live in there, they are no Palestinians, are occupiers. I just want to clarify that part.
I really appreciate it, Maria. That means this whole thing on Friday was not for nothing. Okay.
Wait, what's Saturday? Oh, was Friday? What happened on
Friday when we had the meeting, and I had to fight for the right of using the right language.
Oh, yes. That was very feisty. So, yeah. So, you see, I listen.
Yeah, you do. I'm very proud of you, actually. I really am.
So, yeah. So,
before the comments say anything, I was not fighting Maria. I was actually fighting somebody else.
She was fighting somebody else.
Exactly.
I just happened to be in the middle.
No, you actually helped me.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So, yeah, but what you say is true. Like, a language is important. If we can keep repeating the same verbs that they use, they are colonizer our minds as well. So the territory is occupied Palestine because it was Palestine, it is Palestine, and always will be Palestine. Bien, you can continue.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. Thank you for your permission to continue, occupier. So we have another topic. We have way too many. So again, something very positive. So we have the first hijabi barrister, lawyer in the UK. Her name is Fatima Patel.
Shahid Fatima KC, the hijab-wearing barrister currently representing Prince Harry, is being widely recognised as a trailblazer in the legal world. At 48 years old, she holds the distinction of being the first hijab-wearing barrister to be appointed Queen's Counsel, or KC, as it's now known under King Charles. This week, she's been leading Prince Harry's legal battle against the UK government over his police protection. And the case is taking place at London's High Court, where Fatima is arguing that Prince Harry's security was unfairly downgraded after he stepped back from royal duties in 2020. The key issue being challenged is a decision made by Ravek, the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, which decided in February 2020 that Harry should no longer receive the same level of protection he had as a working royal.
I don't know why they call her Shahid Fatima. This is to me very weird. I don't know, Ray, maybe you have an explanation for that, why they call someone Shahid.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I do, but I think it's going to be a long one, so I don't think that we can talk about it later. It's gonna be a long one. Yeah.
No, but the viewers need to know. The listeners want to know.
Make it shorter than long.
Now, look, I would
Once upon a time.
It is. Yeah, pretty much. I would say it is something related to the. Again, this is me guessing because I heard that before in that context. Okay, it is something related to the Shia stories and the Shia narrative about Fatima al-Zahra, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, so they might. I heard it from there that they call her Shahida Fatima. Okay, so that's why the name Fatima sometimes would be followed or they would add the Shahida to it. I might be wrong, but like I said, I heard it multiple times from that context, from that perspective.
Okay.
So I would guess it is going to be it is the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the very brief and summarized response.
I totally get you. I totally get you. That's definitely So she became the Queen's Counsel, like they call it QC. How cool. That means this is like a title that people get when they done extraordinary work, and she happens to be the first hijabi woman to get that title in the UK. So for me, this is something that's actually really, it sounds very positive, especially because she has like a big case. She is usually into human rights and international law, although we know it's a big lie, but that's a different story again. So she is representing Prince Harry, right? Or Gary? What's his name?
Harry.
Yeah. So yes. He's basically suing the UK government because after he left the royal institution, he moved to America, and so they are not privileged to have any security anymore, like any protection. So the protection in America, they pay for themselves. It's a private company. It's consistent of former Secret Service members and some other people. But in the UK, the protection when they come to the UK, they're not granted this anymore. So he's fighting for it because he finds it very unfair. One of her arguments, though, is that he received the threat from Al-Qaeda. And I find this very funny. This is to me so funny. I don't know why it's so funny, but if that's your argument, wow. So
okay. No, keep going.
No, sorry. My question was only like, is this again another tokenized, gesture to put a hijabi woman as a Queen's Counsel, to give her this title, especially because there's so much Islamophobia going on and xenophobia going on, and they just like using this opportunity to prove, look how inclusive we are.
Yeah, that's to me that's 100% what it is, right? Because especially when look, the headline itself, a hijabi woman, right? It starts with a hijabi woman. What is the difference between a hijabi woman and a woman? Honestly, that's where the first thing that comes to my mind, right? Hijabi woman. Okay, well, all right. Does she have like an extra, I don't know, an extra brain or even an extra heart, or like what? Why? Okay, so like you said, as it could be, yes, it's to tokenize. But honestly, what got my attention is the Al-Qaeda threats, because now I think that's a bit outdated nowadays. I think, we need to be more up to date with what's happening and and who's the superstar of terrorism nowadays, right? Because Al-Qaeda is a bit, we've got some, every couple of years we've got
You
some
get another
updates. And to me,
new boy group.
yeah, exactly. So Al-Qaeda has been like, I don't know. Well, when was the last time I heard about it? Like as an active thing, was it in like 2016, 17? So
But this
that
is
was a
not
bit
a
outdated
challenge
for me.
anyone listening over there. You can stay quiet, by the way.
No, wait, that was 2016. It was ISIS. Don't discredit ISIS, okay? Like
No,
they did their fair share as well.
This is the thing.
no, but
This
Ray
is
is
the
saying it
thing.
like,
This is
guys, we haven't
exactly.
heard from you. Please do something. No, don't do anything. Stay where you
No.
are.
This is the thing. Honestly, think about it this way. All right, when Barack Obama came out with that speech and said, we managed to kill Osama bin Laden.
Mhm.
Okay, I remember that. I was listening to that. I was like driving to work, and I was listening to that, on the radio, and I was like, okay, I think Al Qaeda is going to be like nowadays. It's going to shrink. That name is going to shrink. And what is going to happen next? Especially that like it was in the middle of what's happening in Syria, right?
Yeah.
And yes, I wasn't wrong at all. They didn't disappoint me at all because ISIS showed up, right? And ISIS kept going for a while. They kept going for how many years until COVID showed up. And on COVID, even ISIS themselves, look how organized these people are. Even ISIS themselves complied with the social distancing rules. So they didn't really do they didn't perform any operation during COVID, right?
My goodness.
Did you follow what is going on? So for now to hear that, Al Qaeda, what? Like I was like, what? Qaeda? I haven't heard that name for a while.
Let's keep it
I don't
away.
know.
Maybe he received the threat when he was 5 years old.
Probably now. Yeah, and he's trying now to get himself protection.
Maybe.
But look, on the other hand, when you think about it, like, well, yeah, okay, you want to be protected as a royal member of the family, or like a member of the family, royal family. Like, well, then why did you walk away? I'm sorry, Prince Harry.
It comes with consequences.
Exactly. You decided that. Well, you own you take ownership of what you decided.
I actually hate when people do that. When people feel entitled to something after, like you don't want a situation, but you want the good things from it.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, seriously. Like you still want the benefits.
Yeah.
Seriously? And now, just to draw more attention, he's got the hijabi lady, so he would get more attention now, right? Yeah, well, good on you. That's you've got a very good marketing department there.
Yeah, and she got the Queen's Counsel title. Yeah. Anyways, congratulations. Then we have another woman. We have to talk about Miss Rachel. I had no clue who Miss Rachel was until last week.
Hi, friends. Who wants to play a game?
Oh, Elmo does. Me too.
Yeah, me three.
Oh, what should we play, Miss Rachel?
Yeah, I know the perfect game. Let's play hide and seek. And you can play with us too.
Did you guys know who she was?
Rachel.
Miss
Rachel.
Okay, so Miss Rachel is a YouTuber. She has about 14 million followers. She does children's content, literally children's content, preschool. She helps with education, more from a pedagogical standpoint. And she is being accused of anti-Semitism. Some organizations who fight against anti-Semitism want her to be investigated for supposedly being anti-Semitic and taking money to spread propaganda, to spread Hamas propaganda. It's a woman who does child's content. The only thing she did was she posted about some Palestinian children, and she was very clever with it. She posted these pictures on her Instagram. These pictures are not even from the genocide, they are pre-genocide. Well, for me, to be honest, in my personal opinion, there is no pre-genocide, because from the establishment of the British Mandate, that's when they started getting rid of Palestinians. So to me, it all accumulates over the years to a genocide, but that's just my personal opinion. But these pictures were prior to October 7, 2023. And then she was singing a song, prayers to all the children in Palestine and to the children in Israel. She was saying to please stop hurting them. That's her crime. That's what Hamas allegedly paid her for.
This is a prayer for children in Gaza. This is a prayer for children in Israel. This is a prayer for all the children. Please stop hurting them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So the song was directed towards, stop hurting all the children, right?
All the children.
We're talking about like the children of both sides. Let's call it this way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think she was playing it smart because she doesn't want to be, especially when you're talking about like someone who's got so many followers, and she's like a content creator. No matter what the content is, anyway, she's a content creator and she's got followers, and she doesn't want to leave. She doesn't want to lose them. So she created some good content to maintain the followers from both sides. Well, I don't know. I would say good on her. That's smart. that was a smart thing. So, but what I missed, the part that I missed was about Hamas. What did you say about Hamas?
So basically, they're blaming her to receive funds from them to spread Hamas propaganda, because she posted these pictures of Palestinian children, and she is saying basically that children, should be able to live in peace. And this is a problem that we have, because no matter what you do, you're anti-Semitic, you're paid by Hamas. They did this with the students, when they said the students receiving money from Iran to do all of these encampments, and it's just becoming very ridiculous at this point. Very, very ridiculous. Like, people are not, like, they don't think that people have the ability to have an own opinion. And this is not even an opinion as factual, because when you see what's going on, we have one side that's fully armed and has all the money in the world and all the necessary support. And on the other side, we have a people that cannot even eat or drink or have clean water, let alone have any type of weapons. So this is becoming really ridiculous.
And on that tone, with that note, I want to clarify that we are not getting paid by anybody. This is our own opinion. No one is a sponsor us. We support Palestine because it's the right thing to do. So besides, yes, just on that
100%. note. 100%, yeah. But yeah, it's. I just wanted to add to what Nez said. Which is one side which is fully equipped, and the other side is people who don't really have the same level of equipment, if any. Like, there's not even any level of equipment, and they have all the right to resist. They have all the right to resist. There's something, I don't know if you guys seen, I think I posted a couple of days ago on my account on TikTok about, this person who's just giving and putting it in a very simple way, right? Especially about the resistance. You watch Star Wars and you side with the resistance. You watch the Hunger Games and you side with the resistance. You watch every fictionless movie and you stand or you side with the resistance, right? And when it comes to real life and a situation that is crystal clear, who's the oppressor and who's the oppressed, And then you would start saying, yeah, it's complicated. Like, really? Really? And honestly speaking, I thought about the Hunger Games one.
All the time.
It's not about, honestly, it is not about occupiers. Like on Hunger Games, it is not about occupiers. It is just two different classes of people. You know, there's the elites or whoever those people are who are in control of the power. There is the villagers or the people who are in those areas or those regions, okay, and they are getting oppressed. Well, in Palestine, it's actually crystal clear, even much clearer than Hunger Games or any other movie that you've watched and you sympathize or sided with the resistance, because you can see people who live there. They speak the same language of the whole region. They have the same background. They have the same. They came from the same origins. All of them. They share the same history. They share the same ethnicity, the color, everything, right? And they are getting oppressed by people who came from a different continent, and they claim that this land is there. So could it get any clearer than that? Do you really need to think about it for more than 1 second, if any, if you need to think about it, even if it's not clear enough?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we have. That's it. We're done for this week. And
Wait, what do you mean? We had to do...
We have more?
Yeah, we had to talk about Hamas.
I love it when Maria
stood against the UK.
Oh.
To be removed from the terrorist group?
I'm still on the old list, and I skipped a good few topics deliberately. So you want to talk about Hamas?
Well, you didn't tell me. You want to talk next week? You are waiting for development?
We can quickly do it. So you want to talk about it? You want to?
Of course, it's Hamas, and they are being so incredibly smart by suing UK to remove the title of terrorist group. So yeah, elaborate next.
We are today at the Home Office, and we are going to hand in an application under Section 4 of the Terrorism Act to have them removed from the list of proscribed organisations. We have the application here, which contains very, very strong legal arguments grounded in national and international law, and we're about to hand it in to Yvette Cooper and ask her to have some courage and make the correct decision.
Yeah, so Hamas, the movement itself is basically complaining, and they appealing this terrorist ban that the UK put on them. So this happened actually 2 decades ago, but in 2021 it was renewed by the former Home Secretary Priti Patel. We kind of I don't know, these UK Home Secretaries, they're all terrible, absolutely terrible. But yeah. So this person extended this ban, and what Hamas is basically saying, okay, if you want to put that ban on the Qassam Brigade, which is the military wing of Hamas, that's fine, but we are actually an elected government, so you have no right to call us a terrorist group. And they have a group of lawyers and experts who are pushing this forward, and then obviously they were accused of, again, receiving funds from Hamas, and these lawyers and these experts, they clearly said there is no money involved whatsoever, because under international law, which all of a sudden counts here, you are not allowed to get paid by a prescribed terrorist group. So that's the news.
I can't wait for development. We need to follow that very closely, because they are not a terrorist group. They are freedom fighters. They deserve respect, because what they do and what they have gone through, the things that they have done on the ground, the release of the hostages a lot is mind-blowing. The organization, the dedication of these leaderships and people there, they deserve respect. So yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to skip that one.
I know why we are definitely shadow banned. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just about maybe that topic, that piece of news here. would really it really links to what we were talking about the resistance as well, because just in a glimpse, right? You know that the beginnings of Hamas, it wasn't actually a military resistance or a military group. It was a social foundation. Okay, it's a social foundation based on the teachings and what you call it, the rules, the actual rules of Islam, which is it's more about focused on social services, education, religious outreach. That's what it was. Okay, but again, I think maybe it's good to clarify this, that being a Muslim, okay, and that's, always Muslims are nowadays, not always, but like you can see this in the movies and any places, every other place, like, Muslims and terrorism, and they are always linked to each other. But basically, as a Muslim, there is a duty for you to defend your land, to defend your people, and to defend not only your people, to defend the people who are anyway under your protection and who are nearby you, okay? And basically, you live peacefully with or next to, okay? Yeah. And that's how Hamas became, based on the fundamental, based on the basics on which it was established in the first place, as deriving their system from the Islamic teachings, okay? Then naturally that led them to be a resistance group, to defend their land and to defend their people and to defend whoever is living on that land, and they're under their protection, right? Yeah. So there is no way that you can consider that as a terrorist group. They are defenders, they are freedom fighters, they are resistance. They want their land back. They want their freedom so they started as civilians. They started as teachers, as lecturers, as people who are trying to improve the society, okay? But when it's time to defend your land, you don't have time to maybe just do the social work. You need to also support the social work with the resistance and to fight for your rights. Basically, that's what it is, in order to get your social system going well.
Yeah,
I just wanted to add that piece.
And that's very important. That's definitely very important. Thank you. Okay, Maria, do we have everything, or are you going to shout "wait" if I face?
Yeah, scare us again.
Scare you guys.
We have this thing, right?
I'm just gonna give a homework to the people listening. I want everybody to Google or find out what the word terrorist actually means, the definition, the whole definition, and tell me who actually that definition applies to. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just saying, Google it, and when you see the definition, tell me who actually qualify under that category. Thank you very much.
That said,
I'll wait for your comments.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
wait for the answers in the comments.
Oh my goodness.
For the homework that Maria gave.
Oh yeah, by the way, speaking of the comments, we appreciate the comments a lot. Thank you very much, like always.
Absolutely.
We love the comments.
Absolutely.
I love the comments.
Yeah, I enjoy reading them, and I enjoy, honestly, sometimes I feel like, okay, I read the comments and I would be like, shall I respond now? Okay, let me just wait for more comments to come so I can just address them all.
Another race you favor, guys, but I'm the one that is there every time. Just saying.
Listen, Ray, nobody knew this. Like Ray is also very surprised. Like sometimes when we talk, he tells me, I don't even know why these people like me. It's so
yeah, exactly.
So funny.
Yeah, that's another homework. That's another homework, guys. Let me know.
Don't hijack my homework. My homework first, and you can do your homework.
Okay. All right.
So they have two homeworks. They can manage two homeworks.
No, you overwhelming the people.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Forget about my homework. Maria's homework takes precedence, and she's the priority here.
Ooh. Okay. With that said,
got it sorted.
Yeah. So with that said, we're going to be back next week. Ray, are you coming back? I'm sick and tired for them to always say in the comment, oh, is he going to come? Is he going to come?
Well, look, okay. That's not a homework, but if you guys want me back, I'm going to read the comments and see. If you guys want me back, I'll be back. If you don't want me back, I'll say, I'll see you when I see you. How about
He's fishing for compliments, Ness.
Wait, I don't understand this whole thing. So they get to choose if you are on the podcast. So not you, not us. They get to choose?
Not the producer, not the editor, not the host.
Well, look, maybe we could take that offline and ask you guys, do you want me back? But I just don't want to get my. What if you both said no, right? He like while we're recording now, all right? That's gonna be like a public embarrassment. Okay,
public embarrassment.
You don't want me back. So at least we can talk about that in private, and just get to see what our listeners would suggest.
Oh my goodness! Okay,
may you people contact my people and let's talk.
Oh wow, Maria, what's happening?
Okay, guys, I had to jump into a meeting.
Goodbye and have a blessed week, everyone. See you next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye.
See you, everyone.